everybody, and welcome to the channel. I am your GM for today, the Bardic Knock. Today we're going to be jumping straight back on in to the Final Fantasy D6 game, Rebels of Spira. I will allow my wonderful players to introduce themselves, so name, character, and I don't know, the last interesting thing they had to eat. I don't know, just something else to say, because rule of three, it works a little bit better. And then I will attempt to give a brief recap, and then we will try and begin probably one of the only times this group has ever planned anything. So we'll see if they can actually follow a plan, which I think will be a fun experiment to figure out. So with that, ATB, would you like to say words, please?
Hi, I am a tired by. I hope my volume is working. Is it working good, Bardic?
Yep.
Okay. I am a tired by. I play as Lith, the All-Bed Dark Knight, who is cool. I think she is cool. I don't know how else to describe things. I've been bad at describing things all week. You can find me over here every second Saturday for the foreseeable future for After the Azure Come, which is a One Piece game, where I play as Zelda, the current pirate warlord, where hopefully we'll be able to get back to what we were doing with that and with the Davy back, because few people have been out, so yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything there. I'm also over on the Undead Case channel every second Thursday, so this upcoming Thursday, for Curse of Strahd, which has been fun. We are trying our best to do things, and trying our best to basically go through all of the side missions we have and quests and stuff. And what was the other thing? Like, what the last interesting thing I had to eat?
Yeah, that one.
I had a donut from Tim Hortons, where they have a thing called Dream Donuts, where it's basically little special decorated donuts, and this one had a lot of sprinkles, and in the middle of it, where the donut hole is, they had like a frosting layer on it, and then had little chocolate eggs in there, so it looked like a little bird's nest.
I want a fucking donut so bad.
It looked very pretty. I can still find a picture of it.
I remember this picture. It was a good picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Anything else, ATB?
No, I don't think so. I think I got everything that needed to be said.
All right. Up next we have Andy. Andy, who are you?
Hello, my name's Andy. I'm found on Twitter at Anthony Tift. Currently just playing here, but in the early stages of trying to get a group together for a mismatched different segments of all of the D&D adventure modules. So like a section out of Curse of Strahd, and then a section out of can't remember anything today. Yawning Portal and so on and so forth. Very dragon focused, if there's anybody that likes that sort of thing. Other than that, I've been nice and quiet, enjoying a break after finishing school and in between going back to work. So a lot of fun. Most interesting thing I've eaten recently was a random chef's choice sushi roll. I don't even know what all was in it, but it was great.
That sounds like a very satisfying thing. It's always enjoyable when you don't really know what it is. I mean, it has its frustrations because you can never have it again. But at that moment you go, this is good.
Yep, exactly.
All right, that is wonderful. Anything else, Andy?
No, I think that covers it for me.
Okay, then last and certainly not least, we have Rain. Rain, would you be so kind as to say words, please?
Words. I am Rain Hayes, and I am playing Reno Boom, the Boom Kitty, who came up with a plan that I only remember a little bit of. As for where else you can find me, I play here. I sometimes play during the charity games on So Many Games server. I was just on Nerds with Dice with Bardic, doing a superhero one-shot. And you can find me on the Dungeon Masters Guild, where I have many, many products. I don't remember the last one I released. I think it was the Way of the Crimson Heart Monk. As for the last interesting thing I ate, it's a toss-up between the dreams and nightmares of the unworthy and this really nice beef and pork pasta that James makes.
Oh.
I mean, both of those sound very good.
You could mix the two of them together.
I mean, dreams and nightmares of the unworthy do pair well with almost everything.
I'm a little worried as to what would happen if I did.
You could, if all else fails, you can add your favorite sauce, and it will be fine, I'm sure. My go-to is soy sauce.
Just from years of experience being a witch, I have both a fear and trepidation and instant curiosity as to what would happen.
If all else fails, add soy sauce.
You know, that is true, because after a certain point, you just taste soy sauce. So, it works. Okay.
It works!
Now, what we need to try and do is we need to try and figure out exactly what our plan was, because it was a good couple of weeks ago, and it was a damn good plan. So, attempting to recap, last time, when we restarted the series, well, picked it back up, we were introduced to Herbie, the wonderful and delightful character from Andy, who just walked through a door at university and somehow ended up here. They made a robot do an amazing spinning kick on the fat catfish, and it was all very impressive. Then we had a good, solid, casual introduction where all the rebels introduced themselves, and Herbie was like, I guess I go here now. Cool. And then a plan was made as the group looked upon the entrance to Guado Salam, where Grand Maester Perumpt is known to be. Grand Maester Perumpt is a very high-ranking official who may or may not resemble a former president of sorts. Now, I believe the general concept behind the plan was essentially try and hold Perumpt captive in the confines of Guado Salam and get as many people as possible to partake in a mass sending in an attempt to remove what remnants Perumpt's non-corporeal body has on this material realm.
Right, we were gonna try to convince every summoner that we come across that we wanted them to perform a sending as a tribute to him at a certain time so that they were all doing it at the same time.
Pretty much. Now, from what I believe the group knows, as you know, you're at Guado Salam. Guado Salam is also this world's opening an entranceway to the far plane, or just, you know, the other world where dead things go and hang out. So, you know, that's a very important thing. I don't believe you are fully aware as to why Perumpt is here. There's not like an official ceremony or a historical event or anything. Perumpt is just kind of here.
Yeah.
For an unspecified reason as far as you are concerned. You do know, however, it is not easy to get into the city. because there's heightened security. You know, you couldn't even technically get over the moonflow without your rowboat. That's a fun word to say, rowboat. And so you did that, got over, and you would maybe have to sweet talk your way in, or maybe knock out a guard. I don't know how you intend to get inside the city, but I leave that in your capable hands. Is there anything else that people feel either needs to be reiterated or they would personally like to be reminded of?
We still have a shit ton of passengers that we picked up, don't we?
Yeah, we have some. We have Biggs and Wedge. I think we were also helping other people. Just
Because
Or-
they were all stuck on the other side.
yeah,
Did you offer to ferry people?
I think we did.
I think that's the way we started to convince Biggs and Wedge what we were doing is we were basically they were trying to stop us from crossing the bridge, so we go, okay, everybody on board.
I mean, even if
Hmm.
that wasn't what, that's so long ago, I'm okay with saying, yeah, you totally ferried some people over as well. Just like a dozen or so people. That's how many it could probably fit on rowboats. So there is a sizable group of you. Obviously, your rebels ensemble is already quite sizable. What with the three of you, your summoner, your dragoon, her paladin friend, probably Biggs, Wedge.
We basically have the escort mission NPCs. Like they're not official members of the group. They're just kind of here for temporary.
Like, they probably have names, but, the names aren't particularly important or memorable. So,
The fandom has given them names and personalities, but in actuality, they're faceless. Literally.
yeah,
They
they
kind
all
of-
they all have generic face one.
Yeah. It's kind of creepy when you look back and it's just all the same face, but we ignore it because we don't have the capability to see past the fourth wall that well.
Yet.
Yet.
Okay, so is there anything else that we would like to be recapped on, or that we want to go, yes, and this also is happening?
Not that I can remember.
No, that's fine. It's not like we need to. That's just is there? I don't think so. I think we have everything.
I legitimately think the last 10 minutes of the last game was everybody being shocked that we had an idea.
That was pretty much it. Went, damn. An actual plan?
Bam! We're not doing this at the seat of our pants this time, okay.
Okay, so I suppose, unless there's anything specifically anybody would want to do or explore whilst in character, so interactions with each other, the environment, etc., I believe the first part of the plan would be figuring out how exactly you get yourselves inside the city of Guadalajara. To do some DM work here. Guadalajara is essentially carved out of the roots of a giant tree. So as you approach, it has a small plateau that's carved out into a very decorative circle. The floor is a quite vibrant, deep red and purplish color, with a series of protruding roots coming out of it. The roots are managed and maintained in such a way that they form a very aesthetically appealing series of concentric circles, as it would seem. And then there's like this plateau, and then that's walled up around it. And then there is a small ramp heading down into a large opening. Obviously, other tree roots are just protruding around the sides of it, and big tree. When I say big tree, I mean like big. I don't know how many other ways I can say big. But yeah. And so if you were to approach this, you would find there is a quite large collection of warrior monks from Bavelle. So there's maybe a dozen or so just in a standard formation, actively acting as a form of barricade. They appear to be letting some people in. There is, however, quite a large queue of various people. Noticeably, most of the people trying to get in, they appear to be quite well dressed. There's a level of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a level of wealth and privilege quite apparent in the people attempting to be present, assuming that there is obviously some large event going on. And
they're letting in those afflicted by the plague of affluenza.
Yes, affluence. That's the word I was looking for.
Affluence.
Along with that, there's a few obviously less affluent people, but they probably worked really hard to get whatever they could to make it to this. There's someone holding a banner saying "Make Spira great again,"
Oh God!
and we all sigh deeply, and we just hope that maybe they just fell for it. Maybe they're not a terrible person. I'm just gonna hope that they just don't realize what's going on.
I realize now, and I should have realized this before, we really should have checked that ship that we stole to see if there were uniforms that we could have stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been useful, but that ship is gone.
It's gone.
To several degrees.
Several degrees gone.
That ship didn't just sail. That ship crashed and is now being used for scrap.
It is now the home of many fish.
It technically got transported to the far plane, so you could get back to your ship if you got into Guadalcanal and went to the far plane.
That's a whole lot of effort to put on uniforms that could then get us into Guadalcanal.
Yeah.
So does anybody
Like, we'd be
have
missing the point.
an idea, a plan, a scheme of sorts?
Well, there's the complicated one. There's the not complicated but entirely disruptive one. And then I don't know what one might be that could actually work.
Wanna share?
Well, the complicated one is we look for an outer route. Well, first we find a good beach area to drop off our passengers, because whether they get caught or not is probably not going to make much of a difference.
Mm.
We are armed, so that's probably going to make a difference.
Yeah.
And we have a giant robot. So we find an outer route. We could try climbing that. I don't know how everybody else is at climbing, but I'm a cat, so...
I mean, that was one of... Sorry.
The less complicated, but also much harder plan is I sneak over to one side under the bridge and throw a goblin bomb into the city and distract the guards by having them go put out the fire.
That could make it prompt the leave, though, because, oh god, people are attacking the city.
What if I aim it for, a cart? Like a food cart?
Oh. What if it was a cart that only had green leafy vegetables on it?
That just adds more to the mystery.
I mean, I believe it would be possible to find, maybe one that's got lettuce or something on it. Yeah. Something akin.
No,
I'm now
lettuce, cabbages.
Yeah, I'm now thinking of Terry Pratchett with the cabbage-powered magic.
Oh, I was just referencing the my cabbages guy.
Yeah, I was a little sad I can't play his child.
Mm.
Because my whole shtick was he went to the South Pole because there were less kids there to ruin his cabbages. But then I found out that he created an entire conglomerate that's in the capital city.
I mean, you could. Okay, before we get too carried away, it would feasibly be plausible to play, if not like his direct child, because they're probably a member of the board. You could play a family member.
Well, just to clarify, when I let go of that idea, I actually came up with an idea that evolved an entirely new kind of airbending. So
that also works. Okay, but that's
this game,
another conversation. Shiny over there. Ignore. Okay, so there's some
Pokemon Master argue.
There's some options there to consider. I mean, feasibly, whilst it wouldn't be easy, that first idea of essentially try and sneak around and climb up a route and then maybe like dig down, because the city is, when I say it's in the roots, like it's dug into the earth, so like you'd have to like climb around it and then try and dig through the earth and then just fall out of the sky essentially into the city, which I'm not saying couldn't work. I'm saying that'd be very difficult.
Here's another idea.
Yeah.
And this is a talking idea.
Talking is always an option.
We could bring the crowd up to where the end of the bridge is and basically claim to be the commissioned taxi service that, because Frumpt wants more people to adore him, he had to commission a taxi service because the bridge wasn't doing enough.
Oh.
Okay. You're gonna try and justify being there to... I mean... Okay, so
we do have Biggs and Wedge with us.
We do have... Yeah, we have Biggs and Wedge. We also have Raiko and Val, so we can be like, we even got summoners with us. Why would we be lying? We got literal summoners.
These we have to escort to their destination directly. We can't just go back. We have to... The last crowd we brought over was just fine. It was just the people, but we have summoners now, so we have to go deeper in.
Yeah. Essentially, being like, yeah, we have a fast pass. We don't have to wait in line. We have
VIPs.
We have the VIP passes. I mean, this is an option. All of these are valid and reasonable options which can be explored if you would choose to.
We can also guilt trip them by being like, if you don't let us go through with the summoners, we will get fired and Sin will destroy us all, and it will be all your fault.
I mean, you could attempt that argument.
I feel like somewhere between we got fired and Sin will destroy us all was a massive escalation.
Oh no, my idea is we just make it so outrageous they just have to let us through because they don't want to deal.
Oh, I am very good at that.
I mean,
we've established that I can get through anything if I just keep talking.
Whatever you think will be either the most fun or the most in character, like, it doesn't really matter. Any idea, I am okay with going, yeah, give it a shot. Let's figure it out. Because right now, there's just a large group of you that's kind of stood, slightly away from the shores of this swamp you just crossed, looking into the not too distant distance, going, there's the entrance. Now we need to figure out how we're gonna get in.
I feel like that would be us in real life too.
How many guards are there?
There appears to be a squadron of about a dozen or so. There's two actively like blocking the entrance, doing that. No, there seems to be one person like doing a sort of inspection on whoever's at the front of the line of a person assisting them. And then the other 8 are just kind of 4 of them are there to look intimidating, whilst the remaining 4, they seem to be coming up and down the line of patiently waiting, excited fans, making sure nothing gets too out of hand, too rowdy, etc.
I will note we most definitely do not want to get our stuff inspected,
Yeah.
because I have a gigantic gun and an even bigger gigantic metal construct, and these people hate technology.
I also have had Noctu, and I don't know if he would be able to get past the security.
I mean, let's not forget there is a robot stood behind you as well.
Yeah.
But he was naturally made.
I
He's
mean,
not.
he is technically a golem, but same thing.
Yeah, I think we could try the talking first and then distraction second.
Oh, I can do it even. I can do an even worse thing.
I'm always happy with things that are even worse.
As far as the distraction goes, do they have like water flasks on them and rations?
You can make a logical assumption that most people will have a form of drink upon their personage, either a water skin or a small flask or something.
So you know that rule that basically says when you're not in combat, when you use magic, you can just say you're doing this thing and it happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if we want to distract them, I have Hex, and I can contaminate their food and water so that they get sick.
That is something you could do.
Just give them very bad food poisoning.
Right.
So, aside from the robot, how much and how big is this stuff that you're worried about getting seen by the guards?
Well, my gunblade is basically as tall as I am, and Mechakui is a little bit bigger than your standard chocobo.
Can't Mechakui shrink down, though?
Mechakui can not shrink down, but he can what is the word I'm looking for?
Cube up.
Yeah, basically he
Yep.
becomes a cube that I can pick up. But he still looks very mechanical.
Okay.
Does anybody have any wrapping paper?
We bring a gift for
Well, if there's some latitude, anything that is roughly like can be handheld, I can pull my shit in and out of dimensions. So
Oh.
like I can hide it. But the robot's too big.
We're gonna need to take the robot somewhere close to shore because we still have a lot of people on it.
Yeah. But like the gunblade and Mechakui and weapons we could just have hidden till the time is right. In a pocket dimension.
That,
I
we
don't-
just have access to. Don't think about it.
I don't know how that would work for Herbie though. Like, would it just be they'd have to just stand there and be like, okay, here's Mechakui, here's the gunblade, here's the other blade, here's more weapons, here's Noctu, here's Noctu's gun.
Here's Noctu's what?
I don't know. My brain has blocked out the entire memory of what I said after Noctu.
something. Oh, pistachios.
Yeah, not just pistachios. Because
I
we all
now
know that
really-
Pahrump doesn't like pistachios, so we have to hide them.
I now
Ah,
really,
these
really
Oreos.
hope that Herbie just has a near infinite supply of pistachios perpetually in this the pocket dimension.
Everywhere I go, there's this trail of shells behind me.
He's been kidnapped. Which way do they go? That way. How can you tell?
The shells.
The shells! How did you find us? The shells gave it away.
This world doesn't even have pistachios.
I just find it an amusing concept. But hey, there you go. That's one thing, so you don't have to worry about getting excessively searched. There's one. Obviously, you mentioned before that you do have Biggs and Wedge with you. They are, for all intents and purposes, still warrior monks. So you could probably use them to get yourselves through in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how, but you could ask them, and they could go and start saying numbers and letters, and go, yeah, it's a. These are the 1272 Bs. You know, according to sectional 17Q. You know.
That'd probably be the simplest way to do it.
Yeah, So I guess it could be the bit. So in order could be Biggs and Wedge try. We try. Then blow up a cabbage cart.
I mean, we should always blow up the camp.
Yeah.
Or straight up poison every guard we see.
I mean, we can also just do that for fun.
Yeah.
All right.
We should probably have like. Let's try to get the summoners on board first, and then poison the guards, so that they can't help.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's just. We might be making this more complicated than it needs to be.
Hmm.
A little bit, but I think
Probably.
that's part of the wonderful charm of this whole thing. So, how about we just give it a go? How about we pick a plan, and we just go and approach. We just kind of walk up. Just ignore this line of very supportive Pahrump fanatics. Just walk past them and see what happens if you approach the front of the queue to try and make your way into the city. Is that a...
Straight up go up to Biggs and Wedge. Hey, we need to get in there.
Yeah.
How would you go about getting in there?
Biggs pauses for a second and goes, well, what we could do if we drop the smoke bomb and then through an elaborate series of acrobatic maneuvers, the navigator and Wedge goes, we just walk up and say,
How would you go about getting in there with other people?
I don't know. I'd probably say, you're a VIP escort. I don't know.
Would they have to check that? Would they have a list just being like a?
Like, if it came from you, would they have to check that?
I mean, they would need reason to suspect that I'm untrustworthy, or something to that effect. But another soldier walks up and says, "Hey, I got a thing." You're going to assume that soldier's not lying,
Fair.
unless they're a questionable soldier. But I'm not. Things might be. Meanwhile, Biggs is still there, going through his elaborate 27-stage plan that
The
involves
world has to be made of silk, otherwise.
involving elaborate, hand signs and parcel passing, and there's a casino scene.
Casinos. He just starts just explaining the entire plot of Persona 5.
Oh, I was gonna say he's describing the entire scene of Ocean's 11.
Oh.
Just and then
Really
George
need to hire a
Clooney.
monkey. Where can we find a monkey? Okay, so
Like, we must
Here's-
find George Clooney.
there's going to be no suspicion by arriving via Golem.
I mean, we could say he's brought it. It's their method of transportation. You know, they're not gonna be that weird about it. You know, look, people ride around on giant chickens, and most people cross that swamp on these giant elephants with curly noses. Now, I don't know what a chicken or an elephant is, but that's a chocobo and a shoe puff. So, are we really that freaked out by a big stone man that's also a boat?
Okay,
Fair enough.
so we're going to go with your plan first and your plan second. We're about 30 feet out. Go.
Okay. So, with that, Big Wedge and Biggs, they'll dismount Robot, who is now just in car mode. Have you essentially kicked off the various other travelers and be like, you can get in line?
What I'm going to say is have the travelers follow behind Biggs and Wedge.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as Biggs and Wedge give us a way through, have the crowd go with them so that there's more people that are kind of hiding us as we go through.
Okay. So, Biggs and Wedge, crowd of about a dozen or so random people, all with generic character face 1. Rowboat in car mode with who is currently riding Rowboat. So Herbie driving, because Herbie is the driver, that is established. Probably stood somewhere nearby, just looking bewildered and confused at everything, as probably do. We have Val and Hans, whom Val will be sat near the back, probably facing the other way, angsting. Hans will be sat somewhere nearby, trying to nudge Val and go, look at that tree, that tree's pretty. And then the three of you, where are you three? Are any of you gonna be, oh, and Raiko. So where do you want to be positioned? Do any of you want to be walking amongst the crowd of people? Do any of you want to be riding Rowboat?
I'm going to have Mechakui in cube form with wheels, so I'm pulling him along like he's luggage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have my giant blue pointy hat slightly down so the brim covers my face. And I'm going to follow Biggs and Wedge.
Okay, so you're on the floor with the crowd. Lilith, where are you?
I think Lilith is also gonna be just in the crowd. And she just has Noctu also just walking alongside on just a little leash. So it's just like, yeah, just a casual, like, person in the crowd with their pet hedgehog. Going inside, nothing wrong, nothing weird.
Giant goth person.
Look,
There's a
it's
guy-
only weird if you start to ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Raiko they will seat themselves on the golem. And Herbie, I know I said you'd be driving, but obviously you don't have to be. Probably can pilot if needed to. So if you want to be with Reno and Lilith, if you want to be driving, if you want to be halfway up a tree with some other elaborate plan, please let me know where you would like to be.
Totally driving. I'm still on the absolutely fascinated over these gizmos.
Yep, that is absolutely wonderful. Okay, so as this entourage approach you go up this small ramp, you end up in this wonderful plateaued area, and there is a large open gate heading down into the city. As you get there, some guards go, "Halt! What the fuck is that?" To which Biggs will about to open their mouth and start talking, while Wedge goes, I'm Chief Petty Officer Wedge. We were not employed because they aren't paying us, sadly. But we were asked by these VIPs to cross over the Moonflow and escort them directly into Guadalajara. They are big supporters of the corrupt administration, big donators, and they just want to get in. They don't want to wait in line. And you know what? I don't blame them. Have you seen that? That's a nightmare. You can imagine having to wait in that, boys. Hey. Ooh. So if we can just mosey on through, whole ensemble. They like to travel big. It's a whole thing.
A whole fan club.
The guard looks at Wedge and goes, "So you just left your post over on the other side to do this?" Wedge goes, we weren't allowing any more shoe puff crossings anyway. We don't need a post. Just move the shoe puff. People can hang out over there all they want. What are we gonna do? Swim across? Those giant catfish. If they can swim across, good for them. But it's fine. My shift was basically over anyway. The other guard looks skeptically and goes, "That's fair. We will have to do an inspection for everyone, obviously. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone needs a basic inspection. So
Do I pull a Reno or do I not pull a Reno? I'm going to channel my best knobby knobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to shove forward and get right into that guard's face.
Yep.
And be like, "Oh, you're gonna inspect us? You're gonna inspect us? By what right do you have to inspect us? We are VIPs. We belong here. What are you doing? Why do you belong here? You're just giving orders to this crowd of VIPs? What are you thinking?"
That in environments with lots of people, you should do basic inspections to make sure no one is.
So you're inspecting everybody? You're inspecting everybody who's coming through, including the VIPs, including the minions you've frumped? You're going to have them inspected? You're going to have them come through? You think you have the right to place hands on them?
Do you want to roll something?
I don't know. Let's see what I have for skills.
Whatever you have to roll, can I give you, I don't know, can we do advantages here?
I'm sure something exists. I don't remember.
Let's see.
I wanted to give Reno advantage by just shouting, "If you're gonna expect us, I want to see the manager of this establishment. I want to ask him if he would inspect us, well, we don't know what he's bringing in. I want to have him inspected.
So
Bring me your manager so I can talk to him and inspect him."
I am asking a shit ton of questions to fluster them.
Mm-hmm.
So, would inquiry count?
Yes.
So that's +3. That is the stream. That is not the game.
You can type in there if you want. You won't get.
I did that the first game. Remember? Fuck.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
Okay, so 10 is actually a pretty dang good roll, if memory serves. Let me find my thing. Are you in this one? Oh, you're not on that one. Trying to find the webpage with all my stuff. Ah! There you are. You little dickens. 10, I believe, is a quite good. No, it's heroic. It's moderate. Moderate to challenging. So, lie to an Imperial Guard is right there at a 9. So yeah,
Perfect.
you lie to this guard, you fluster them, you throw them off, and he goes, no, yes, I don't know, I'm drastically underpaid.
And yet you think you have the authority to order us around?
I mean, no,
Go back to your post.
yes.
And I'll just start walking
Do
through.
a salute and walk back.
This is.
Yeah.
I have no skills for convincing people to do things, but somehow Reno does it.
Hmm.
Okay, so with that, you've been waved in. You can waltz on into the city, or drive a giant robot, whichever is more insane to you.
Whichever you prefer.
Okay, so as you begin to descend this ramp down into this underground city, the first thing you notice is obviously this is underground, so there's no natural sunlight reaching here, but there is a buttload of bioluminescent moss, fungi, all kinds of wonderful things. So everything has a vaguely greenish or purple hint to it, just because of the natural lighting that exists down here. Obviously, as well, roots, like thick roots everywhere, around the walls, on the floor, on the ceiling. They have been like carved out and pushed out in such a way that it just looks stunning. You can see plenty of houses and doorways and businesses that appear to be carved in to the earth itself. And so small, very elaborate doorways with very intricate, almost runic patterns carved into them, with very wonderful, intricate, like multicolored glass iconography. It appears that the Guado are very artistic in their expression. They very much enjoy the color palette of blues, purples, yellows, and greens, and that is woven into the vast majority of things they own and possess. If you follow the primary path, you see that leads down. There's a large fork in the road. One continues downwards, one veers off and begins to go up. Another thing you notice as you're walking is there are bridges and pathways that just go through the air, just a series of routes crafted to be over passes and small tunnels, and it's a wonderfully fantastical, intricately crafted living environment. It is not a large city by any means. The Guado are not many in number. If you had to guess, no more than perhaps a couple of hundred people live and work here. But what you also do notice is if you follow the main path down, there is an exorbitantly extravagant mansion carved into like almost the core of this giant tree you are currently under. And this mansion is huge. Every other building here appears to really be little more than a hole carved into a wall and then, made not to look nice on the inside. This looks like an actual building made of stone that must have been brought in here piece by piece and assembled. There is a large mosaic built in front of it, acting as a series of steps. So once again, stone must have been dragged in here and dug into the earth and roots to build this mosaic in these deep, interwoven purples and blues. And it is fucking beautiful to behold. Like, it just looks visually stunning. This mansion appears to have large columns around the door, and above the main door, going up onto the second floor, there appears to be a balcony of sorts where it looks as if people would come and give speeches. There is a beautifully ornate stained glass window above that, depicting a scene of what appears to be something vaguely resembling a guado reaching out up towards the sunlight, and then the bright burning sun above them, as if symbolizing the guado's people's yearning for a world beyond theirs, the underground. And what you find is parked outside of this mansion is a large what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the dang word. The thing stupid rich people get carried around in.
Carriage?
Parade float?
That's not it. I want to say
palanquin?
pagoda.
Carriage?
Palanquin.
Pelican?
Yeah. So there is a large golden palanquin, which is
It's gonna be heavy
emblazoned
as fuck.
in. Oh yeah, it is heavy as fuck. And there's some very tired-looking warrior monks who have put it down, and this is very clearly Pahrum's. And it appears that this has been set up. There's a small camp of Pahrum's personal guard. You can tell they're Pahrum's personal guard because their warrior monk uniform is gold and very impractical, but it's ornate. And, you know, you're fairly certain it goes against a lot of the teachings of Yevon, which have to do with humility and modesty. But, you know, I'm sure there's nothing hypocritical or corrupt about any of this whole Yevon stuff. I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, of course, of course, of course.
It's all 100% on the level.
Totally fine.
If you were to look the other way at the fork in the road where it was headed up, following that path up, that seems to it gets darker up that path. There is less natural light, less mosses and fungi grow near it, but it appears to be leading towards a tunnel which seems to emanate its own light from deep in the tunnel, although that light isn't a greenish or a purple like the other bioluminescence. That is a bright white light, almost ethereal, as if it is not of this world. And so you can make the logical assumption that must be the far plane. What would you like to do now you are inside?
So I think that as the people start to disperse away from us,
Mm-hmm.
following what Tired By said, we just kind of mentioned to them, if you see a summoner, let him know that like a couple hours from now, we're all gonna do ascending as kind of like a showcase for the big guy. We all want to do it at the same time, so it's really impressive looking. So if you see a summoner, we can't get to all of them in time. We got here kind of late. So if you see a summoner, let them know that we're going to do it at that time.
These people, they don't really know what's going on. They kind of shrug them, and you see them kind of going off, heading to places to stay. One would assume, some immediately go over to the Pahrump encampment, and they all pull out these red jester hats that say "Make Spira Great Again" and start going. Others appear to be heading towards a tavern or an inn or somewhere, just anywhere they can go and put their feet up.
Just to be that kind of dick. and part, so the logic behind this is that this will help prevent from escaping. But realistically, I just wanted to do this. Looking at the tired warrior monks who were carrying the palanquin, I'm gonna cast Hex on their water supply.
Yep.
So basically, Reno's going to like kind of shuffle deeper into her group and turn around and weave her hands in front of her so that this like purple, almost slithering shadow coalesces in her hands, and she's going to drop it on the ground, and it's going to slither off and crawl up them into their canteens.
Okay. That's something that will probably come into play later. But it is done. Things are in place.
Mm-hmm.
We should find some summoners too, so it can be summoner to summoner, spreading the word.
Okay. So obviously there's a fair few locations one can go and explore. There's a few buildings. There appears to be not so much a marketplace, but a few basic supply stores. So basic sundries, a very small weaponsmith and armorers. There is a tavern. It's a tavern and inn, so it's kind of both. But that's kind of it. Like, there's not a whole excessive use for trade here. At most, people maybe stop by as they pass through. Because the other very noticeable thing is veering off. So there's the big mansion. There's the far plane somewhere off over there. There is then another path that appears to lead out of Guado Salon. So that's just where other people go if they're just passing through, because this is a primary through route from Lucca to Bavel, basically the two major cities that exist in this world. You kind of have to pass through here. So if you wanted to go and look for people, your options would be going and checking out the tavern, going to the far plane, or just standing around in what vaguely resembles the closest this would have to a communal outside gathering place. There's benches kicking around here and there. There's maybe a few tables set up where people play board games of strategy. So, stuff akin to chess and whatnot, passing the time. But nothing excessive. The Guados, they are a very cultured people. They enjoy expressing themselves through their artistry, through all sorts. But they are certainly not, by nature, an excessive people. They don't feel much need to display more than what is needed for function. They will embellish, they will enjoy, and they will create and partake in wonderful pieces of artwork. But they don't feel the need to make a sports arena or a children's play area. So no, we'd rather just go do art over there instead. You don't need much for that.
Instead of like a playground, it's just a little area for kids to paint.
Yeah, it's a few surfaces and some chairs and stuff like that.
For some reason, probably is over there.
Probably is gobsmacked. Probably is just sat around. So, it's so pretty. Why is it so pretty? And I'm supposed to be from here. I didn't never know it's ever going to be this pretty. I really, really like it. It's so nice. It's nice. So I'm supposed to have parents. Why? Where would I find them?
That's a good question. That's
a very good question.
Is there one of those? You see them at every fair. One of those booths where it's Lost Child.
A lost child booth.
Just go up wobbly.
We just go up like, "Hi, we're here to report a lost child."
Wow, we've barely been open. We only set up earlier today. A child's already lost. Like, no, probably was lost decades ago.
Oh no, they've been gone for decades.
Oh no.
There's not a lost child thing, but one would assume like a ask around. That the fact that the Guado are fairly isolated by nature, it would be quite noticeable if one went missing. So ask someone, have them just approach the first Guado you see. And go, hey, you know anyone lost a kid like 30 years
What,
ago?
you think we all know each other?
Oh no, I'm just asking. Like, kid went missing 30 years ago. Look, we also talk about baby Jessica. So
See,
Do we?
now I'm just imagining it like the Final Fantasy II system of talking to people about things. So it's like if it's like in a video game mode of you go up to an NPC and there's two options: convince to partake in sending, ask about lost child.
I'll make it even better. Like 9 times out of 10, you walk up to somebody and all they say is, "These flowers look really nice this year," and then turn around and keep staring at the flowers.
Welcome to Cornelia. Welcome to Cornelia.
I mean,
We can't be trusted with this game.
there is as many options available to you as you have ideas and imagination. So, whatever
That's
you
terrifying.
personally are interested in going and doing, we will find time to do it. I mean, hell, you
Dude.
could probably try and just walk up and kick the door open to the mansion and be like, "Yo, let's fucking go." I wouldn't advise it, but there's technically nothing stopping you from trying.
There's a giant gate stopping us from trying.
I mean, there is a doorway and a series of guards stood outside. But aside from that,
I think that we can look for summoners and look for Puabui's parents at the same time.
Yeah.
these are options, correct?
Like, go up and talk to a summoner. Like, listen, we're gonna do this thing at this time. We want to make this as big as possible, so we want everybody doing this ending. This is like our big deal thing. Also, have you seen anybody that looks like this one?
Have you seen any two people who could have theoretically mixed their genes together to create this?
Those are two entirely different questions.
Or third question, do you know of anyone who owns a magical baby closet where they pulled out this person as a baby? What do you mean that's not normal?
Okay, so where would you want to start?
So let's try the tavern first.
Always a good solid starting point.
I mean, that's
because there's
always
a
where
tavern.
most children are conceived.
Does the tavern have a closet?
Oh no, I was just making a joke of like, you get drunk, you see, you get drunk,
Right there, tavern floor. Everyone watching, fucking let's go.
I mean, you don't know.
Look, I don't know how many baby guado were conceived that way. I don't even know how baby guado are conceived.
I was just making a joke about one night stands at bars and pubs.
Okay, so you find the tavern, you head in. The inside of this, once again, it is literally a room carved into the literal earth. So it's dug out. There's lots of stuff pressed onto the walls to hold things in place. Roots coming out of the floor, but flattened over with carpets and all sorts. It's quite hospitable in here. It's got a friendly environment. There is soft music playing, perhaps softer lute. So it's like there's a harp, a small harp playing from some person in the corner, just plucking away. There's a circular wooden construction in the center. It seems to function as like a tavern check-in slash bar, and all around it there are tables with people sat. It's full, and you can tell it's full because there's really only like 5 tables, but there is somehow like 10 people crowded around each table, and this this hall is clearly not designed to hold this many people. There's plenty of people in their silly red jester hats about Make Spira great. There is Guado, who look rather perturbed at these people coming into their personal space and turning it into a mockery. There's some people who just look a little bit out of place. You wanted to try and pinpoint any specific things, you'd probably have to do a roll of sorts.
So what first, the parents or the summoner?
I say the summoner first. Or could do the parents and then passing by like, oh yeah, by the way, this. So I guess that would depend on who we're asking first. Or I'm just
Well-
overthinking this too much, I don't know.
Well, how about this? How about I do a roll? How about I do an awareness roll? And with that awareness roll, I look for somebody who might look connected to Pabui and for a summoner. And
Okay.
then we can decide based on who's actually in the tavern.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to also do an awareness roll too, or just you, Rain?
Well, anyone can roll anything they want to. Hell, if someone really wanted to, they could roll an engineer vehicles check right now. I don't know why, but they could. You want to roll something, just say, I want to roll it. And then tell me why, and then we'll do it.
Well, that's a 14.
14 is a real heckin' good roll. What is... Yeah, look at my list. 14 comes under impressive. So, drive a motorbike across a collapsing bridge. Slip out a pair of manacles. You know, very impressive feats. So, in your awareness...
I'm so aware.
you're so fucking aware!
You're also aware that Herbie is kind of quietly standing with his hand raised.
Oh,
Oh my god, has Herbie had a question this whole time?
What's a summoner?
Oh dear. You know, I had that same question when I got here. And I'm going to point at Val and Raikon and go, they're summoners.
Yeah, Raiko will go, a small crash course. Summoners are people who make friends with people who kind of died, but not really died because they chose to do it and they became a big rock. And then we make friends with the remnants of their spirit from the big rocks. And then they turn into like big, cool, amazing friends. And we use those big, cool, amazing friends to kill the giant evil killer whale that flies through the sky and obliterates about 70% of our global population about every 10 years.
Kind of blinking.
Usually-
Yeah.
which usually leads to the summoner dying.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Huh. Well, ain't that something?
And some of them are really cute, like this. And with that, Raiko will flick their hand out, and this tiny, adorable, amazing little creature that shines an emerald glow just sits in their hand. This tiny little rabbit cat hybrid thing with a ruby embedded into its forehead just kind of sits there in Raiko's hand and goes does a little wave.
It's so cute.
Yeah, I like Carbuncle. Carbuncle's my friend.
Carbuncle is adorable, and we don't see enough of them.
No, we probably should. It's something that just like exists, and I mean, the other ones I probably couldn't do in here because they're a bit big. But you know, we have one that's a whale, just a big whale with a unicorn horn. We have one that's just like a big bird, bat person friend, and then we have a giant dog who's on fire. and kind of hot.
Interesting pets y'all have.
Well, they're friends. They were once human beings. Except Carbuncle. I think Carbuncle was a rabbit. I don't know. It was a very strange moment when I met Carbuncle's faith.
Reno is glaring in cat-like suspicion at Carbuncle.
And Carbuncle puts their haunches up, like... So Reno, with your redonkulously high awareness, you first notice that, but then what you also notice during this explanation is you notice a person who kind of they blend in to an extent. There's nothing particularly stand out about them at first. They're wearing like a dark blue robe, and they have quite a large yellow hat that was kind of tilted down, and you see them kind of sit up as they acknowledge someone summoning a carbuncle, and they kind of grab at this large staff and they kind of pull themselves up, and they're making eyes. They're going, I see you. I see you.
Does he look like that?
I mean, they aren't doing the finger thing, but you know, they've locked on. They see it. They know what you're doing. They know what you're doing. They're not gonna approach anything because it's like a no. I don't want to look like I'm some. I'm not here. I'm not gonna look desperate to make friends. They can start a conversation with me. But
I'm gonna kind of nudge Val. I'm like, is this one related to you?
Val looks at you with the dirtiest fucking side eye. It's like,
I see the family resemblance.
no.
Are you sure? Not a distant cousin?
I am absolutely positive. I do not know this person. And I don't want to know this person.
I guess tsundere is not a family trait. I'm just gonna walk away from Val and walk over to the other one.
Val, who was clearly about to say something really snide and biting as you walk away, you just hear her shout, "What the fuck?"
I love messing with Val. So I'll kind of meander through the crowd, like I don't mean to be walking directly to this person, but I'm walking directly to this person.
Yeah, just casually stopping and looking at, oh yeah, so, you know, knight to B12? And it was like,
We're playing checkers.
we're playing poker!
I'm playing poker.
But it looks like a knight.
So yeah, you're kind of doing that, popping by, and then
How do you have 3 knights?
you approach a person who somehow they have managed to acquire a table to themselves, which, considering there's only like 5 tables and this person's got it all to themselves, from further away it would look like there's people around here until you get close by and you realize no one was facing in. Everyone's facing out away from this person. No one is associated with this person at all. And they just appear to be kind of sat here. They've got hand on staff. They are purposely big, giant, yellow, pointed, conical hat, tilted slightly forward, keeping a lot of their face covered. They just kind of sit here. There is a vague, billowing smoke emanating from them.
I wonder, is this a smoking section?
Yeah, I know. I mean, for me, maybe for you. I don't know. You smoke? Yeah, no.
I mean, really depends on how the battle's going.
He gets it. He gets it.
I'm gonna
Good
lean
vibes.
against the. I'm gonna lean
vibes.
against the wall by her. I'm not even gonna sit down. I'm just gonna lean against the wall. Like, it's really crowded in here.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it a lot.
Is it always this crowd? Or is it just for when the big guy's in town?
No idea. I got here yesterday. I was just passing through. I need to take a break. I was gonna start walking them thunder plains, but you know that's a lot. There's a whole lot. And so I figured, you know what, I'll rest up for a couple days, maybe see if there's a caravan coming through, and then this.
They
Well,
don't even know why they're all gathering?
Don't know, don't care.
There's a big shot in town doing something.
Oh yeah, I saw the guy. I saw the doofus.
Did you see, is he in that big ass mansion?
Yup.
Did he make any proclamations or anything like that?
Nope. He stopped for something he called a photo op. Held up the teachings of Yevon or something, but he was holding a book upside down.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
I don't know.
We're pretty sure he's never read it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not. Nepotism and money can do a lot of stuff in this world. It's very alarming.
I mean, it's also like, we're pretty sure that he's not... You know those kind of people who they like present themselves as fabulous people to get themselves into positions of power, and then once they're in that position of power, they don't know how to turn it off. So every time they try to act like that pleasant person, they just come off as slimy.
Yeah, I kind of get it.
He's probably literally a worm.
I mean,
Like literally.
see, I always saw Grand Maester Bojo as more of a wormy type. Like,
Oh,
This-
he was. That's why we're concluding that he might be too. Like a literal worm.
what?
I'm gonna
Very-
sit down.
Very subtle, Rain.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Very subtle.
Uh,
Reno's subtle. Reno is very subtle.
with that, this person, they kind of lift their head up, their face still mostly covered, and they grab their big conical hat and they pull it off. And as they do some slow motion, deep bass music starts playing as sparkles begin to glitter across the screen as they unveil a delightfully luxurious coif of hair that billows
that's-
behind them as this person is very handsome. Very, very handsome. Like, basically just full-on Bishonen. Just like,
Oh, Nin.
super pretty boy. So, long, blonde hair, small, circular glasses, a slight tooth that kind of sticks out a little bit, so when they give a little smile, it's got like a devilish tint to it. They are so fucking pretty. As they do that, they kind of lean in close and go, "Hold the fuck up, what?"
So while I'm saying this, I'm actually going to have my hands behind my back, and I want to use, what's that? What's the ability? Invent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically putting together something that looks like a badge.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna like lean in. Gonna be like, back in my head, I'm like, this is gonna draw a lot of attention. Not what I'm about to say, just the fact that this exists right here. But I'm gonna lean in really close and go, can you be trusted?
I would like to think so, but also an untrustworthy person would probably also say that.
But an untrustworthy person wouldn't admit to that.
Unless it was some kind of incredibly convoluted double or triple bluff. where I convince you I'm trustworthy, but actually I'm not, and I do so by pointing out that an untrustworthy person probably wouldn't try to be so trustworthy.
But to go to that length, you would have to know who I am,
This is
because
also
then it would
true.
be important.
I mean, unless I really knew who you were, this has all been a deeply elaborate ruse, but that would be very, very convoluted, and quite frankly, probably not wonderful, storytelling from the point of, some omniscient narrator of sorts.
Yeah, that would be pretty weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's gonna like flash the badge really quick and then put it away. It's like, we work for the Church of Yevon Internal Affairs. We think that there might be a corruption in the church.
Oh, you're with the church?
Well, I'm more of an outside contractor.
But you work for the church.
I work for a lot of people. You'd be amazed.
Are you trustworthy?
Oh, hell no.
Okay. And
But I don't particularly like the church, if that helps.
Yeah. So you're here to put a stop to stuff that goes against the church?
Oh, hell no.
You're here to catch a person to do with the church? You see this person slowly adjusting how they're sat, as if, their eyes kind of dart around a little bit, as if they're planning to make some getaway of sorts.
I'm here to make sure that the very large wormy person that we fought before does not repeat itself. Because the last time that happened, I almost exploded. At that point, preventing the I explode part, we plan on leaving.
Okay. So, you work for the church, but not for the church. But you also don't like the church. So...
You can take somebody's money and not like them.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I get it. I mean, you see this person kind of look around a little bit and go, yeah, no one's listening. That's what I did. Church.
Oh, how much?
Just... I mean, I can't... It wasn't like an amount. It was like a thing. Really, really impressive thing.
Is it like a magic thing? It makes things go pretty?
I can't show it.
Is it the kind of thing where if we make a big enough noise, you would want to get away? Use that as a distraction to kind of wander away from all these church people?
No. It's the kind of thing where if anybody sees it, I'm gonna go.
Well, that's what I mean, though. If we, my compatriots and I, caused enough of a noise, would you take that as an opportunity to slip away from people that might observe it?
I mean,
Would it be in your best interest to help us?
I
You wouldn't have to do anything other than talk.
I can talk. I can say words. Look at me. I'm forming sentences and everything.
Yeah. Well, you've been here since yesterday, right? So
Yeah.
you have a better idea of where everybody is, right?
I mean, kind of.
Do you know how sendings work, right?
Yeah.
And you've probably seen a lot of summoners in town.
There's a few. Most
Here's
of
the
them really
thing.
not worth noticing. None of them really have much kind of special. Except that little buddy of yours, the carbuncle person. They got
It's not
something.
really about the individual power, just the number of people,
Yeah.
You get enough people doing the same thing, like a sending at a particular time throughout the city.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really useful to us.
Are you expecting like a tragedy? Are you expecting a lot of dead people?
We're expecting one very dead person who's walking around.
Is that a threat?
Oh no, not to you.
Okay. Wait,
No,
to
that's
who?
more a description. That's more of a description of somebody rather than a threat. Really, we really want him to stop walking around as a dead person. I believe this conversation is happening.
People can do that?
Well, that's the point. People shouldn't be able to do that, right?
No. No.
So what I was thinking, right?
Yeah.
If we get enough summoners to do a summoning or to do ascending, then at the very least, that would keep them in one spot. Because if they try to go anywhere else in the city, there's going to be somebody doing ascending, right?
There is a logic in this, yes.
And hear me out here, there's going to be warrior monks and summoners, right?
Yeah.
And the warrior monks are going to have to be near the summoners because they're going to start to draw a crowd, right?
I mean, yeah.
So the more summoners that you get to do ascending at that particular time, the less warrior monks there are that are going to notice you.
I mean,
Oh, by the way, what's your name?
me. Hey, my name. You see
Good
them
to meet
kind of, you see them kind of look around and pause and go, G GM. Yeah, let's go with GM.
Bardic, that sounded very. Let me type out what that sounded like.
Thinking it was spelled out more like this.
Let's see what's going on here. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't have to roll anything. Dude, clearly lying. That is not his name.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna go with me because he answered me. My name is.
So you can either try and push and get more information, or you can just go, okay, Jim.
I'm going like, here's a question for you, Jim. You were gonna go across the Thundering Plains,
Yeah, that was my plan.
and you were gonna wait for a caravan.
Just moving in a group. It's less dangerous. All that good stuff.
True, that's true.
Yeah.
Chances are good. Chances are very good that we're gonna need to leave after this,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
we have a vehicle.
Oh, like a wagon?
Yes, like a wagon.
I feel I should have questions, but also,
I feel I should too.
how about we agree to just let them not be said?
That sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
In any case, after we are done here, would you like to travel together for a little bit? Just to make sure that we can actually, get away.
I mean, where are you headed?
I don't know, because I didn't think that far ahead. I imagine that it's going to have to be someplace other than here, so I can't imagine the Thundering Plains is a bad idea, but I can talk to my group about that.
Well, I mean, there's only two ways. You can either head out to Moonflow and head out that way, or you can head out to Thunder Plains and get over to Macalania, and then you go from Macalania to Pavel.
Well, we just came from the Moonflow.
Oh, so you probably don't want to go the other way, unless you're changing your mind and heading back to where you came from. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know your story. I'm not going to pretend I'm going to ask about your story. I believe that would probably be exposited to me over a series of conversations as we develop more of a rapport.
A series of in-depth conversations that are interspersed with philosophical. Wow, that word just went right out of my head.
Yep. Musings?
Sure, let's go with musings.
Yeah. Good vibes. Good vibes. Yeah.
Do you wanna meet us by that gate area after you've spread the word and we've caused some havoc?
Yeah, I can start spreading the word. Just as a heads up, I personally will probably not be involved in any of the summonings or sendings or any of that good stuff. Anything that means I have to be, within,
Oh, that's perfectly fine. That's
whatever.
understandable.
I just don't want to get close to any of the authorities. If you know what I mean.
yeah, that's perfectly fine and understandable.
Yeah, cool.
You know I was lying about the badge, right?
Oh, cool. Nice.
I'll just put the badge on the table, and it's like this cobbled together brass and wood thing with gears behind it. Like, okay, talk to you later.
All right. See you.
I'm gonna wander back to the group and be like, that went much better than I thought it would.
With that, there's very, very handsome, this very, very handsome, pretty man. Just kind of sat there going, yeah, that went good. Fuck. And then you see him very quickly grab the hat and pull it back on. And, try and cover themselves back up again.
I forgot to tell him that if he breaks that thing, it explodes.
Oh,
Because I used the inventability on it.
maybe you should go back there and ask him to tell him about
you
that.
You see that he's holding this thing and he's kind of poking at it and going, He kind of grabs and twists, and then there's this. Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna grab Herbie and Lilith and Ryko and be like, we should leave.
I mean, I guess we could say that Lilith and everyone else and Herbie and Ryko were just letting people know of hey, it's gonna be a mass sending dance to honor this dude. It's gonna be cool. Better fucking do it.
There was a lot more to that conversation than I thought there was gonna be.
Yeah.
My original plan was just to go up and be like, hey, you look like a summoner.
There's plot lines, optional side
There's
stories.
layers.
It's a whole, it's a cake up in here.
I'm leaning to Lilith. I'm like, okay, so short version, he's gonna go around to the summoners that he's seen and pass the word. Also, we might have adopted him.
Oh, is he now gonna be traveling with us too?
He needs to get across the Thunder Plains, and we need to leave here fairly quickly after we're done, so yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Besides, it's really hard to say no to people who are just that obviously attached to the plot.
Yeah, there's even Sparkles readying off him
Right?
too.
He was smoking before, and now he's sparkling.
Yeah, it's
I believe probably not too far into this conversation, a small explosion would take place. It appears that the explosion starts and this person tries to capture it. They are on fire.
oh
Their hat is on fire, and they just kind of sat there. Going, and they just grab a drink and go sit there. A little bit of smoke still coming off, now drenched and slightly burned.
yeah, they'd fit right in. Did you want to ask more people around about doing sending stuff, and also if they happen to know parents of a child that went missing decades ago?
I think we should do that, because it's going to take a while for that rumor to spread anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've done a fair amount of talking, so your turn.
Okay.
I'm going to stop Turn deliberately. Does Herbie have his hand raised?
Nope.
Uh,
Just kind of wide-eyed, just drifting in the back, going, huh.
I like to imagine this whole time Herbie has just been like, you know what, Herbie, do you want to be playing patty cake with Carbuncle this whole time?
Totally.
Because I'm down for that. Like, Carbuncle's been pestering you to play with him. And so you've just been sat there playing patty cake with Carbuncle, and it is the cutest fucking scene you have ever seen in your entire life.
Indeed, it's nice calming influence.
Okay, Lilith. What would you like to do? You have burning questions, desires that must be fulfilled. Whom do you target to ask questions?
I guess firstly, just because I am curious of like what would happen, I guess I'll try to look for. I guess I'll look for very basically just like older looking Guado.
Yep. So, with the 5 tables that are in here, one is obviously Jim's table. There is one table of Guado. They appear slightly younger. A few of them in their, in the equivalent of like mid-20s, clearly have maybe just finished work and just whatever. One table of slightly older-looking Guado, and then the other 2 tables are rammed full of visitors from outside of the city.
Okay, I'm going to. How do the older, like the table of older Guado look? Like, do they look like they would want a random armor-clad woman to be coming up to them, being like, "Give me answers. Give me answers to questions."
They have a perpetual look of judgment and frustration at all the outsiders being here, meaning that they've all had to gather up on one table together. There appears to be some interpersonal conflict between some of these older people. Maybe one of them is the other one's ex, and they don't really want to have to sit at the same table, but all the other tables were taken. It is not a super welcoming vibe you can get from them, but you can also tell that they are probably so emotionally repressed that at most it would just come out in passive-aggressive condescension.
Yeah, you know what, I'll just... See, I got too many ideas in my head right now. Because on one hand, I could just go over to them and be like, hey, fucking annoying tourists, am I right? Also, do you know of anyone who would have lost a child?
You woke up in an I Heart Guado Salam t-shirt and go, tourists, am I right?
Or I could try to do something to make the tourists leave.
Oh, I have a better t-shirt idea.
What?
I found my roots in Guadalajara.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Oh god.
Yeah. I came to visit the far plane, and all I got was emotionally fulfilling resolution, knowing that that lost person is actually dead.
I'm in dark. That's perfect for those, because it goes dark real quick.
I don't know which one I would want to do.
I mean, if you don't have like an easy way of deciding, just roll a dice, flip a coin. make an elaborate dartboard where you throw a dart and it pops a balloon, and then that sets off a match that burns down a string that pulls on a pulley that unleashes a very flat kazoo sound that drops some confettis with the plan of your choice.
I'm gonna roll a d4.
Also that.
1 or 2 is I go to the older Guado table first, or the second one is I go to the tourist table and try to see if I can convince them to leave while also furthering our own plans.
Alright.
Time to further our own plans. So Lilith is going to walk over to the tourist table, and are these guys just all, like, very pro-prompt, or is there any way to really tell?
So there's 2 tourist tables. One table is pure Pahrump fans. You know, lots of red, make Spira great. Just generally unpleasant to be around. The other table is a little less pro-Pahrump. And maybe more, we were just coming through and there was this thing, so we figured, yeah, we'll see what the hubbub is. Really, I want to finish our holiday and get back on track. I want to go and see Macalania. I hear they do the best ice cream. Because it's frozen.
The best ice cream. Okay, so... first I'll go to the more pleasant table first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am scared of how because I want to have a nice experience first before having to deal with the red table. And Lilith will basically be like, "Hey, so do you guys know anything about what's going on here today or whatnot?"
One person will speak up. She looks slightly older. One would assume somewhere pushing middle age, so late 40s, somewhere between late 40s and maybe early 60s. It's a non-specific age. She is a slightly larger woman. Her hair is neatly tied back. She is wearing clothes for comfort first. And she kind of goes, "Oh, well, hello there. No, I don't really know what's going on here, eh? I'm just here having a wonderful little time. I was going on a journey, seeing all the sights and all that malarkey."
And we have now been exposed to Bardic's American accent.
Well, it was gonna start as Minnesotan, and then I have a problem anytime I try to do Midwest, it turns Irish real fucking fast.
It just for some reason I get like very homely Irish grandma vibes.
Well, that's exactly it. So it always starts Midwestern, and I go, "Oh, well, hello there," and then it becomes Irish really, really quick. It goes, "Oh dear, oh hello there."
I heard it go, and this might be like the middle ground between Midwest and Irish, but I heard it go Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Just go straight Newfie.
Oh my. You try to do a Newfie accent with me in the room, Bardic. I want to see.
I can't. I don't even know what it is.
Neither do we. You just kind of speak really, really fast and put on whatever kind of accent you want.
Yeah, it's something along those lines.
But the key is to speak really, really fast.
And have opinions.
Talk about the weather and boats, and fish and fog and rain.
So I was going out. I was going out and dealing with boats and fogs and rain and fish and stuff and just all that stuff. And right there, it's gone straight to Irish again. I think it's whenever I try to speak quickly, it goes Irish.
Yeah, you need to speak You need to speak a bit more quickly.
I think it's because my interactions with various Irish people, specifically people from the Republic of Ireland, more so than Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is a lot slower and more relaxed. But the patter of people from the Republic of Ireland is normally very quick paced, and so if you speed up, I personally find I start to slow words a little bit because I'm trying hard, and then what you do is put just drop the jaw a little bit, as in physically pull it back, and then you're talking a little bit behind your teeth, and then you just kind of push up vocally a little bit, and then oh look, there you go, I'm talking Irish, and you're just gonna keep going, and your words don't really need to be real words, just kind of need to keep going, and eventually you'll reach a point, but probably not, and then you just you'll eventually stop, and you go, hey, don't you agree?
Meanwhile, for Newfoundland, I've been told that I do not have what people would consider the Newfoundland accent, so, you know.
So, yes.
Anyway!
Anyhow, this woman of indeterminate accent, who just seems to be having a happy, fun time. She doesn't know what's going on, but she's here and she's comfortable. She maybe has some opinions, and she's maybe going to pass some condescending looks around. Oh boy, it sure would be nice if people weren't being so rowdy.
Oh yeah.
Glare. But,
Glares that red table.
But that's none of my business.
Oh, of course. I know that I have heard like some talk of possibly a big thing happening of basically you know what a sending is, I assume, right?
Oh yeah. I've heard lots about them. They're supposed to be like whole big to-dos. Although people need to be dead. Are people gonna die? Am I going to die?
No. Basically,
Is Jeremy?
I don't know what Jeremy.
This very skinny, lanky person next to me goes, I'm Jeremy. Am I going to die?
Hello, Jeremy. I don't think you'll die.
What am I, a doctor?
I'm not a doctor. Basically, it's not for because people are dead, but because as a commemoration, you could say, to the big guy who is here in town, and apparently there's gonna just be a whole big thing of people just at one point and one time just doing the whole like sending dance, and apparently after that, like the rowdiness should fade, like it's gonna be that whole thing, and then it's like, okay, we can all go home now.
So as you were talking, you said commemoration or whatever specific word. A very elderly man from nearby, or at the same table, with a long beard, like very long, scraggly white beard, lifts a very outdated horn to their ear and goes, "What? We're getting cremated? I didn't even know it was dead! Wait, is that why everyone's here? Perun dead?"
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him recently.
At this point, Jeremy
How to
turns.
answer this without lying?
At this point, Jeremy turns to the old man and goes, no, Randall, no. She said, commemorate. And goes, commemorate? We got currents? Whoa! What? Where am I? Meanwhile, Lilith is going, I
Can we
regret
take
talking
him instead
now.
of Pretty Boy?
You can adopt
Lilith is
Randall if you want. I don't think he's useful.
Lilith is just in her brain, is just like, oh god, what have I done? What were you saying, by the way, Rain?
I was just trying to joke. We adopt him instead of the pretty one.
Look, Randall is... Well, Randall, I was going to say, is a hoot and a half, but actually Randall is like 2 whole hoots. Okay, so Jeremy and one will make the assumption Jeremy's wife or partner or whoever, they calm Randall down and go, oh, a commemoration. Oh, that sounds cool. We're gonna commemorate what? Pahrump just existing? I mean,
just, I mean, more of just the fact of, I mean, there is like summoners getting ready to try to fight Sin again, the giant space whale. So it's more of like a commemoration of, yeah, fight that space whale.
Okay. Well, at this point, the woman begins talking. So I don't really quite see the point in that. How is that any different to literally every other day ever anywhere? Like, what are all these people, all these rowdy types doing around here? It's not.
I mean, all I know is that all I was told was to pass the word along.
Okay.
So I've been kind of doing that.
Well, the word has most certainly been passed. Do we need to bring anything? Is there like a potluck? Because I didn't bring any cooking supplies. I was hoping to try all the local cuisines.
No need to. No need to cook yourself. It's fine.
Randall kind of goes, "Are you gonna go fuck yourself too, little lady?"
I have no idea what you just said. I heard you cut out, and then I heard what?
Randall misheard. You don't need to cook yourself, and thought you told him to go fuck himself. So he got real surly back at you.
Oh my god. I don't know what to know.
This is just more Bardic enjoys incompetent NPCs because
Yeah.
One, I like infuriating people, and two, I believe it plays into the notion that the player characters are the most competent people in the world, therefore allowing everyone to get their full-on power fantasy.
My brain was just very mean to all of us by saying, "Oh, so that's why they're all so bad. They have to set the bar so low." To be fair, we started out by stealing a ship, so
Yeah.
Lilith, is there anything else you would like to do at this table of very frustrating people? They're not bad. They just don't know how to not be terrible.
But yeah, if you want, just go and spread the word around, enjoy your vacation, and hopefully by the end of the day, the rowdiness will be over.
There's like passing smiles and nods and like, oh, okay. Anything else? Or are you gonna leave now?
Yeah, I need to go and pass the word more.
Bye.
Bye. Just slowly, Lilith just walks away from the table like, what the fuck did I just experience? Just in her brain is just like, what?
Did you ask about the parents?
I don't know if they would. They're tourists, though. I don't know if they would know much about parents.
See, Lilith's and subsequently ATB's logic was, look, I'm going to talk to a tourist first, try and get them to fuck off, so then I can approach the Guardos to actually get information. But I've just spent too much time talking to these incompetent fucking tourists. And now I've forgotten what I was here to do.
Tourists are
Basically,
refusing to
yeah.
figure off their asses and tour. Well,
Oh yeah.
do we have any other ideas?
I was gonna go to the Worcester Rowdy table to encourage them to leave to go spread the word to do sending dances.
Do you feel okay doing that?
I don't know. I don't know. Herbie, do you want to try?
Try to get attention or make people leave.
Make the red table leave.
I can do that.
Can I just say, I love the image of Lilith just coming back to the group and go, my brain hurts. Someone else do it.
This was my original plan.
I don't
Go.
know if that plan worked or not.
Somebody get red table to go so we can ask the older Guado about parents or something. I need a drink.
Herbie looks for the loudest, most obnoxious individual at the red table.
So, at this table, you know, they're all wearing red in some way, shape, or form. There's one person who is stood up. He is everything you think of when you think of the most obnoxious, you know, red pill consuming person. And he is halfway through a speech. You know, a very important speech to everyone else at this table. And the little clips you get are some of the lines of, now, this right here is where it all comes in. Because our boy Perumpt, he's gonna expose that damn elite cabal that have been fabricating the illusion of sin. It ain't real. We know it ain't real. Perumpt's gonna get them damn elites and gonna bring us to a new age of enlightenment. Yeehaw!
And that's the point in the speech where Herbie casts eject and slams him to the roof and back down to the floor.
This person, they literally go, yeehaw!
He literally went yeehaw into the ceiling.
Reaching down to
his
grab
last
it.
awe.
He's reaching down to grab his drink, and he's like just in the ceiling, just dunk, and then falls flat on the floor, like out, unconscious.
And then Herbie tries to get the attention of a waiter and says, he's unconscious in a bar. He has to be thrown out.
The waiter looks and goes, "Thank you so much," and walks up to him and goes, I'm sorry, all of you, but due to your brand bar policy, when you get to a certain level of unconscious, you have to leave. Obviously, your rooms are upstairs. If you wish to go and check in, you can still order room service. Just please get the fuck out. and the group, they kind of look and go, well, we don't want to kick up a fuss because we don't want to get booted out of this dance area. We're here for Perumpt. And they all just slowly march off. As if it was their choice to leave.
The direct approach actually worked faster than either one of our other approaches.
That
With that, you see the table of older Guados. There was maybe like 4 or 5 of them. Immediately, 2 of them get up and just walk away and go and claim the empty table, and they look very happy to not have to be around those other people. And there was clearly a lot of unresolved tension of sorts between them. This isn't important, I just think it's amusing setting. The idea of people having to be put in uncomfortable situations due to, essentially an invasion of outsiders. So, if you wanted to go and approach the older Guados, you can go do that comfortably now.
I think you just described the entirety of American history.
A little bit.
Herbie resumes playing patty cake with Carbuncle.
I guess, Reno, do you want to come help me ask those guys about if Pwababwe's parents are still around here, or if they even have parents? I assume they would.
Unless they're lab grown.
Plus, also, I am a bit scared to go off to another table by myself and talk.
Yeah, sure. I'll come back you up.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll have my book open to the page for the Goblin Bomb.
Okay. So you just go and approach one of the tables with some of the older looking Guado one. It doesn't matter which one; they're essentially exactly the same. You approach them. They appear to be engaging in just polite, trivial, regular conversation. Maybe giving some dirty looks over to the other table of older Guados and then resuming their conversation. Something along the lines of, and can you believe what Tabitha said? That bitch. Hi, stranger, who's just approached our table. Can we help you?
Maybe. So, in terms of a Guado that's been missing for a few, let's say, decades, would you happen to know anything about that? Because me and my group, when we were traveling here, we kind of picked up this round 30 or so odd year old Guado. We're not entirely sure where they're from.
Yeah.
And since we came here, they've been wanting to try to see if they have family here, but we don't really know.
We're not quite sure how to look or where to look.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure you think you're being, delightfully glib, and this is some wonderful practical joke. But personally,
I'm going to point at probably.
You probably could have led with that. So you found this person just out and about.
Just in the temple.
Yeah.
He was more in and not about.
Oh, okay. And they say they've not been here in about 30 years.
That seems to be what we're told.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Should we be worried?
One moment.
Yeah, should we be worried?
The Guado stands up from their little chair, steps up onto the table, raises their hands up, and goes, "The young prince has returned!"
Oh, shit.
Shit.
And all the other Guado go like, "What?" Turn and go, "These travelers found him! Been gone for so long! I can't believe the young prince has finally been found!" Probably just stood there. I don't know what Probably's doing. Probably found like a coin and has been spinning it in a circle on the floor, going,
I imagine it's him and also Noctu and Tauntaun just looking at this coin spinning in wonder and awe, and then they just look up like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly that.
So we're going for the subtle approach, right? We're trying to blend in.
I
And it's
guess
been
we
like,
can't
quick,
blend in
quick,
anymore.
someone go and tell the royal family that their long lost child has finally returned. It's such an important day, and with our foreign dignity here as well. Oh, praise be to heaven.
We have
Such
a dignity?
They mean parumt.
Yeah. That's why she's questioning.
Come, let us sing and play wondrous music as we guide these people to the doors of the palace.
Oh shit.
I mean, this would be a good way to get to Parumt.
And every
I'm
Guado just pulls out a musical instrument. You don't know how or why. They all just pull one out and start playing this uproarious, uplifting march of celebration.
It's just the Final Fantasy victory theme,
Yeah, pretty
but
much.
played out of tune.
No, it's perfectly in tune.
Okay.
Perfectly.
For
There's
some reason, there's
subtleties
bright
and-
colors.
and they're just going. And they start to like push you and guide you, and like one of them like grabs Reno's hand, and someone grabs Lilith and goes, come, we must take you to the palace. This is a wonderful day.
I think we set off a trap card.
Hmm?
I think we set off a trap card.
I mean, we did need a way to actually get to Parumt, I guess, so this
Yeah, but
works.
Is that mansion the palace, or is that just a mansion?
I don't know.
It's the palace.
Okay.
Okay, there's the sign that says it's both a palace and a mansion.
Are we going by a bunch of prone figures that drink their water?
Yeah. There is a series of guards who look very uncomfortable, and you see that they're waiting in a very informal queue, taking in turns to run behind the palanquin and relieve themselves. It is just as gross as it sounds. As you are marched towards the front door, and tons of Guado, they've all just crawled out of their homes, and a few tourists who have no idea what's going on, but go, yeah, what's this? And finally, as you reach the palace doors, the music stops. Silence. And probably goes, that was cool. Who's the prince?
I think they mean you.
The doors fly open as a rather broad-shouldered, short, stocky Guado with a turquoisey teal-colored hair steps out and goes, "My boy! My beautiful baby boy!" You're not a baby, but that makes sense because years ago. But my boy!
Is there a place on this world that this does not happen to us? This seems to happen to us a lot.
What you mean?
Is it a pheromone thing? Do we just attract the weird to us?
I don't know. And also for a moment I thought you meant just getting random royalty and reintroducing them to their parents. I was about to ask, has this happened to you before? How many
Yes,
princes
but,
Huh.
but that wasn't here.
Well, to ease any worries, I know the status of my parents, they are not secretly royalty, so this wouldn't happen to me.
I'm going to turn and put both hands on Herbie's shoulders, like, please tell me you are as common as mud.
Please. Is there any blue blood in your body?
Not that I'm aware of. Like,
Do you know your parents?
oh yeah, they're just shopkeepers.
Okay.
Okay. And there is no possibility that you could have been secretly adopted.
Probably not.
You've never pulled a sword from a stone?
No. That happened
Never-
a long time ago. Wasn't me.
Never put your
Okay.
finger on a golden spinning wheel?
Nope. No long sleeping either.
Has a weird woman in a black hood ever offered you apples?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was the market.
Yeah, it was just Doris. She does that every Thursday.
Turned into a good pie.
Yeah, I think we're safe. I think we're good.
I think we'll have to question. Well, actually, Racco should be fine. We'll have to question Val and Hans later, and maybe Biggs and Wedge, but should be
Honestly, if Val was royalty, she would be proclaiming it.
fine. I mean, unless her kingdom was shit, and she was like, you know what, screw it, I'm belling to become a summoner.
Hans goes, no, Val is not a princess.
Okay. Are you a prince?
Kind of. Like, I'm a heartbreak. I'm a prince of heartbreaks for my dashing good looks and winning personality. But
Are you saying you've killed a lot of people?
Technically, yes.
Good job, Hans.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you.
What? Why? What are we?
I don't know. We're just a morally gray party at this point.
When this all started, we were wholesome.
Yeah.
My big thing was finding food carts.
That was just the mysterious edgy one.
It was somehow the most wholesome. I don't know, something happened. Well,
Even your murder hedgehog is wholesome.
somewhere there'll be like the moment where we all go, this is where we lost our shit. But I couldn't point to exactly where. So yes, there's this wonderful, heart-touching scene of this father reuniting with his son of God knows how long, and the father is crying, tears streaming down his face, and Pablo goes, "Who are you?"
I think we found your parents.
Oh, yay!
I think this is your father?
Cool.
Parent of an unknown pronoun?
I mean, well, hi Dad. I think you're my dad. Do I have any toys in here?
Should we be even more worried? There's
Should
going
we
to be a culture shock happening here.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a culture shock.
The king walks up to Reno or Lilith or whoever, just any of you, and
Whoever's in front.
grabs hands and shakes them very, very fortuitously. Because I could not say how happy I am. You brought my baby boy home. What could I do to repay? No, you come. You must share. You must dine. You must sleep here. We must regale you with honors and riches and all sorts of wondrous, magnificent things. For you are truly heroes to the people of Guado.
Thinking in the back of her head is like, oh, that's going to change real soon.
Come.
Meanwhile, looks at plot to possibly send Perumpt.
If you peek inside the flung open doors, you can see Parumt, who is there, trying to adjust his like formal robes, and you see him wiping his hands with food stains on them down. He goes, yeah, it'll be fine. No one will notice. It's good.
I'm gonna lean in to Lilith and her being like, okay, so if we can stall for like an hour, we can perform the sending, and this should work out. But just in case not, I'll throw a goblin bomb and we all run for hell.
Should we take Probably with us, or should we just leave him here to adjust? Because like, I don't know.
That might actually depend on if they have toys or not.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know, like, you always read the stories of, like, fairy tales of long-lost royalty returning, but you never see the aftermath of how well they acclimate to things. Is he gonna be okay?
Has he ever been okay?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if we're okay.
I'm pretty sure we're not okay.
Yeah, no.
But we have a goblin bomb and that's what matters.
Hans will lean in over top of his conversation and go, "It's okay to not be okay. And the first step to being okay is admitting it."
Okay,
You
Hans.
always know what to say, Hans.
Also, apparently, there's a real bomb-ass feast in here that we've just been invited to. So, I'm diggity down.
I mean, a feast before potentially working to reform a religion sounds like a good plan. Plus, if we need to run like hell, then we'd need to have our energy. So
Also, these formal dinners tend to take a while, so we might be able to do a performance during it.
yeah, they usually take a few hours. There's usually dancing and talk and gossiping and more talk, and I'm sure the king will want to tell us the backstory of Probably.
I only see one downside. They know what we look like now.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think we're going to be able to come back here.
I mean, I'm still wearing the mask. I can come back here.
That's fair. There's plenty of dimensions out there. And I'll start going in.
Herbie, how do you feel about all of this? Just go, okay, cool.
Herbie's at this point just enjoying the field trip.
Yeah. There's
Fucking
just one
love
point where
Herbie.
there's one point where you gotta just sit back and be like, okay.
Look, I'm on a ride. I don't know where it's going, but I'm having fun.
Somebody's providing lunch.
People are providing food.
Beat sitting in class.
And the practical demonstration of catapult. No.
This is gonna make the best, like, essay ever when you get back.
If anybody believes me.
Oh my god. I've totally
they
just
will.
realized. If Herbie did write this down as an essay, entitled it, "The Time I Got Thrown to Another World and Saved a Prince and Then Killed a Giant Whale," it could be probably the first isekai short story ever produced in this universe.
But, like, the thing is, though, most isekai have to start with you dying.
He walked
it
through a
didn't
door.
with,
We don't know if he died or not.
There's like Sword Art Online and Log Horizon. You didn't die.
Digimon, which
Yeah,
is
but
an isekai, by the way. Probably the first.
I don't know, I'm too used to
Oh, God.
isekais just starting off with you dying.
Is that his full name?
Yes.
Herbert George Wells. I love it.
Okay. So, do we have any final things? We can pretty much wrap it up there, because there's only like a couple of minutes before we hit our regular wrap-up time. So, is there any final words anybody would like to say in the character? Because you're just being invited to a big fancy feast with, the leaders of Guado Salam, their estranged son, who you rescued from a temple, and probably one of the most powerful and influential people in this entire realm. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong, aside from everything?
So,
I guess...
Sorry, after you.
Okay, I guess the only thing Lilith would say in character, just because it's one of the things on my mind, is, does this mean we're gonna learn Probably's real name?
Probably.
Yeah, Paul goes, probably.
Just probably still being hugged by his sobbing father, just leans in like, probably.
That's me. I'm probably. Okay, so...
His actual name is Puablabui.
Oh. Or it's like some weird acronym. So...
No, it's Pwo Abawi the Third.
The third? What happened to the second and first?
Well, the second's his dad.
Oh.
I don't know. Alright. So with that...
By the third of almost.
With that, we'll wrap it up for the day there. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Thank you everybody for watching this and joining us on this wonderful excursion into something, I guess. I have been, will continue to be, and am currently the Bardic Knock. You can find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all as the Bardic Knock. And ATB, who are you?
Hi, I am a tired bye. I have been Lilith, who... Have I really been, like, the most wholesome when we first started? I thought that was just Raiko. Technically.
I mean, but that's...
Okay.
When comparing to Reno and the Moogle and the Edgelord Red Mage, it, like, Malcolm, you can't, like... Of us, you're probably the more wholesome.
Oh, I'll take that as a compliment then. I'll take a I'll accept people calling me wholesome. I'll learn to accept compliments and not respond in a self-deprecating way. You can find me here every second Saturday, so this upcoming Saturday, for After the Azure Come, which is a One Piece TTRPG, and I'll be there for the foreseeable future, unless I get kicked out or something. Or if I don't know, I get eaten by a giant space whale. And then I'm also over on the Undead Case channel for Curse of Strahd every second Thursday, so this upcoming Thursday. And I'll also be there for the foreseeable future, unless I get kicked out or eaten by a giant space whale.
You got everywhere, man.
What?
Giant space whales are everywhere. I always need to keep an
Yeah,
eye
everywhere. It's like how you gotta keep track of shuckles trying to eat your... or Kyogre's trying to eat your shuckles when you're playing a randomizer Nuzlocke.
Very much so.
But yeah, that's me. You can't find me anywhere else. If you scream loud enough, I might be able to hear you, but... oh no. It's a lot of walking.
Anything else, ATB?
No. I think that was everything.
Okay, so next we have Andy. Andy, who are you?
I'm Andy. I can be found at Anthony Tift on Twitter. This is the only stream I'm currently working on, and having a blast figuring out who Herbie is, and leaving breadcrumbs for everybody else.
And then finally we have Rain. Rain, who are you?
I am Rain Hayes, and I was playing Reno, who is the Boom Kitty, who is probably gonna have to boom real quick here soon because we only got like an hour before everybody starts dancing.
Start off the flash mob with a bang.
Yeah. You can find me here playing this because I am not doing anything else. Every now and then, you can find me on So Many Games playing in their monthly charity games. You can find me on Dungeon Masters Guild, where I have many, many products. Might have some more products soon. I got stuff that's finished. I just don't know how I'm putting it together yet. Other than that, yeah, I don't think you can find me anywhere else.
Yeah, I think that covers everything. So, with that, as always, huge thank you. And until next time, stay safe. Happy adventures. Bye bye.
Bye.